Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for joining the stream today. It is your host, Ace. I'm going to give it a few moments for everybody to hop on before we do begin. Let me actually go ahead and let this get this tweet out here. I think a lot of people think I'm going to be on Twitch, but I'm not. So, I have to get that out there to people. Oh. On YouTube. Let me get this out here and we can begin. All right. Let me also let my Discord know. If you guys can go ahead and like and retweet this, that'd be fantastic. But yeah, let's wait for everybody to get in here before we begin. Stonk Trumps, if you're joining, I'm so sorry. I think I missed your DMs. Let me get the Discord open. Discord. Yeah, pretty much short day today. One of the few days where price action just goes straight down, which is absolutely beautiful. Ended up grabbing puts early in the morning, fell back asleep, woke up right now in profit. Doesn't get any better than that. Typically, it's not as easy lately. Lately, you have to do a little bit more effort than that, but wasn't bad today. Not bad at all today. I'm waking up now and I'm seeing we're in profit. B did. I see you're in chat. The man. Thank you very much. Maybe later. Let me let my Discord know. I keep saying I'm going to be a little more active in Discord, and I keep getting a little busy, but I swear, this week, live now, come hang. I'm on YouTube now. Let me also link my YouTube just in case the peoples don't know. There's the link. All right. Everybody knows. Doesn't look good for SPY at all. Last 20 minutes left. Kind of getting in here late, so plays will be a little different over here. But, I mean, it seems to be pretty much the same thing today. Failed to break out the clouds today. Had a little end-to-end play, which I didn't end up playing. Like I said, I shorted this morning. So, yeah, well, that's good times. Apple's still going down. Yeah, we'll check everything out once everybody gets in here. Let's see who's in chat. My Discord isn't anything fancy. It's mostly just for alerts, and if people want to at me for things, I can go ahead and link it. It's public/private, meaning that I don't really shill it just because I don't know. I don't always end up being as active. I'm more active on Discord, on Twitter, but that's my Discord link if you're interested in joining. You can always at me. I'm trying to be more positive. I mean, more active in there, so it's just a little tough. Hi-oh, good morning. Dude, Tim C. Yeah, I can definitely check out LMT. We might as well pull that up right now while we wait for everybody to hop in. Yeah, a little bland today for LMT. I mean, just right off the bat, I'm noticing that the cloud base starts over here at 1229. So, just a little bit more chop over here. I mean, overall, it looks like it's still kind of inside all around. Nah, not much outside of the range. Whether we're looking at it in a price action sense or Ichi sense, kind of just all flat right now. So 4 hours approaching an FTA. So outside of that one, that's about the only concern that I would be worried about is that we're approaching an FTA. And with the FTA, we also have support over here. So you have a level of 477 and 473. If for some reason we break 473, you're looking at about 459 over here for the play. And if we start breaking 459, we'll start coming back down over here to the clouds. And it's going to be a lot harder to ramp off the clouds if we're down over here. So essentially, you'll be looking for a cloud play at that point. So it's coming over here. We'll pull up order flow as well and see how things are looking in order flow land. Why is this still... Oh, all right. Matt, what's up? All right, let's wait for everybody to get in here and see what's going on. I've been muting and unfollowing a lot of people so I can get my feed a little bit more clear. Yeah, so there's I mean, this guy Javier is gonna. He's super smart with some simple setups. Just a simple thing to look over if you guys want just the simple things. You guys can then go ahead and look for Confluence with our setups. But yeah, I mean it's nice that his stuff has been popping up on my feed because he's just showing basic compression or basic extensions, and at that point you can figure out plays that you guys see. But yeah, let's wait for everybody to get in and we'll begin. Yeah, not a good sign going through the FTA. So FTA ends on 12/22. So by Thursday, I mean pretty much not looking good at all. I think a couple of you guys said that you guys ended up playing the 4-hour triggers over here, which is fantastic. Oh, that's the wrong ticker. Yeah, a lot of you said you guys played the 4-hour trigger over here, so fantastic for you guys. We're coming up on support over here at 377, and the gap fill area, or I mean the previous area for this little gray box. We're getting very close to pushing into that one. So we should get a little bit of a bounce soon. If for some reason we start breaking this level, it just means that our next support level is down over here at 356. A lot of people are concerned and saying that we're pretty bearish over here with things. But I want to point out over here, just check out the weekly. I mean, I get people's bearish stance on things, and even on the monthly, I mean, I understand what people are saying. And like, look, this is concerning because we're getting that hook over here. So I hope to God we don't break into the clouds. But what I would love to see is if we get some kind of wick action like this. But again, this was a wick triggered by COVID. While the world does look pretty terrible, I don't see any kind of crashes really happening right now. Yes, price action is pretty bad. And if you did want to go ahead and do any kind of short, your invalidation at this point would be around that 424 point based off the monthly. But again, monthly's pretty broad over here. I don't want to hop into the monthly aspect just yet. Let's wait to break our daily structure over here, and then we can go ahead and continue to be bearish. The main point I guess everybody's really been pushing out is this high, this high, this high, this high. We're refusing to break out. If we draw a vertical line, or yeah, the vertical line over here, or diagonal line, we refuse to break out. And I believe at this point was a 200 MA as well, so we didn't break through that as well. So we have a little bit of work to do. So in 1 week, it's trying to get back over. So the 1 week right now needs to recover over 392 for us to get bullish again, and that's that. Nuke could go off with especially with Russia training Belarus on nuke-equipped planes. I have not paid too much attention to what's been going on with Russia. I'm just assuming if it pops up on my feed, it's probably getting important. If it's not, then it's probably still in the works of things. But yeah, there was somebody that was posting something. What was this alert? I think that's his name. This is kind of what I like watching him for, like just some basic news as far as like airliners go, as far as like what's going on. So he posts some important stuff depending on where flights are. So there's a couple defense people who post some good things. Dude, these bots, they have been absolutely savage. The one main thing I want to get across to people is that the play that I've been trying to get to you people is that if you want to scale into anything long term, it's probably going to be a better idea to do anything like that near the end of the month. I still feel like the whole taxes and people selling out or whatever they need to do is going to occur this week and next week, and then next week is when we're going to want to look at order flow. This whole month has been an observation of looking at order flow and figuring out where people are buying dated leaps at for 2024 and 2025, and we're looking at setups on the charts as well. If the setup looks like it's going to get ready to form or whatever it is, that's where we're going to start looking for order flow confluence as well. So once we get that order flow confluence over here, that's what we're going to start looking into, start scaling into. So we'll check all that out today. Like there's definitely some plays coming over here. It looks like airlines are getting some plays, but really want to look at the opening order flow and see what they're opening up. I mean, there's other ways to do it outside of opening, but that's a easy way to begin and to pay attention to. So MU, MKind, GLD, GDX, Dust is getting some plays over here as well. That's one of the ones that I ended up grabbing this morning, just because gold looks like a little sketchy over here, and Dust is starting to pump. We've had non-stop push down with Dust, and Dust is pretty much inverse gold. So if this starts going up over here, gold is going to come down. That does hinder our plays over here on the gold plays once again, but again, I'm not overly concerned because I know I hope to God you guys have been taking profit at our target points. So a little bit of pullback on gold is not abnormal just because of the fact of us going absolutely vertical. So there's some weakness, there's some strength, and we'll go over that in just a moment. I think we should be good to go. I mean, I know I should probably go live both on Twitch and Twitter because, or I mean on YouTube because I want to get back my people from Twitch. But hey, I appreciate the few people that are in here. Let's just go ahead and begin, just because we don't have much time left on the market, and I mean we could still go ahead and review stuff. But for right now, let me go down to the lower time frames out over here, see how things are going. Again, what our triggers are for people that don't already know is some sort of cloud play. So we had it on the 1 minute, and looks like it's going on the 1 minute, which makes sense because again, near power hour, typically we end up destroying whichever side ends up being directionally right. So this morning, I was directionally right in the morning for the downside, and now we're going to punish me for not exiting out, which I already did for the most part. But yeah, that's pretty much how it works for the most part. The one thing that you want to avoid is chop, just because chop's going to decay your option premiums, unless you're just doing pure spot plays. That's a little different there. But if you're doing options, you want to avoid that chop. That will decay your premiums really badly. But for right now, it looks like if you bought call plays on the 1 minute play, you should be good to go. But again, you should be taking profit on your puts if you're already up on your puts. You should be up pretty nicely for your puts, depending on which ones you grabbed. There was some common plays that I grabbed. You can probably hold on to those common plays that I tweeted about. And yeah, so the next trigger you'll be looking for is, well, we don't have enough time, but the 5 minute is pretty much what we would be looking at over here. So if the 5 minute had gotten into the clouds and we had enough time, we'd play that next play. But really the only play over here was the 1 minute. But not bad price action for today. Went down right into support over here. We'll try to see if we get some green tomorrow to play some continuation in the morning. But for right now, it did go ahead and extend down. The one thing you want to keep in mind is that with the B-bands on the daily, or on the 4 hour, we are starting to ride down on the B-bands. So we should start consolidating out in a little bit and figuring out the next set of moves over here. On the daily, again, extending out right into the FTA over here. Not a good sign if we break below this FTA because that would lead us to lower to about that 356, 360 area. So not the best sign, but this is our bounce point over here. If we're going to bounce, we're going to bounce here, and we'll figure this out tomorrow if we get a better inside day over here. So that'll be real clear. As far as what we want to do with SPY, cloud structure is closing on the daily, so that's not a good sign. And for us to get back bullish, we need to go ahead and clear back over about that 407, 408 point. So that's kind of where we lie on SPY. If anybody doesn't understand like the basics of my Ichi stuff, it is pinned to my profile, so you guys can always go ahead and check this out. If you have any questions at all, if you're confused about anything, let me know. I use my Ichimoku strategy with my B-band, so it's a combination of things. It's not pure Ichi. And if you guys check out my previous Twitch streams, you guys can figure out why. Just a real quick rundown. I used to get pissed off because I couldn't find tops and bottoms with Ichi, and that was one of the issues over here. So, yeah, that's pretty much where that lies, is that fact that you can get signals on Ichi, but you can't get top and bottom signals without B-bands. So, we'll discuss that another time. If you guys have tickers or anything, put them in and we can check them out. Let's see what was green today. If you are in any kind of BTC miners or any of the miners of the sorts, get out of them. I mean, you should have been already out of them for the last couple weeks. Nothing has been bullish about these miners. These miners do not react unless Bitcoin goes up, and they're not going up. Ooh, Vissel. This is something that I'm interested in just because I know Amazon has a play in this one. So it is looking like it's going into the clouds over here. So I wouldn't mind grabbing commons over here just to grab commons to see if we go ahead and break out and just go ahead and validate myself below the Kijun or Tenkin. But it does look like it's pushing at the end of the day. So I wouldn't mind grabbing this one. Just a penny stock wise, I typically don't do them. But if we can get some kind of clear on this exhaustion, I wouldn't mind playing it. Or even if we push up in the morning, I wouldn't mind just playing it and getting out. So that one's nice over here. It is up 7%, but again, I wouldn't mind chasing something like that. DRV, somebody else showed me this one, is just bearish real estate shares. So we are pumping over here on this one. Going on the 4 hour, it looks like we are getting a cloud entry over here. So if we do go ahead and push, it's going to be a gap fill over here at 57 to about 62. So we have a gap fill coming up over here. If we break out of the clouds, this should go ahead and extend higher to about this point over here at the 68. I'm just trying to run through a couple tickers over here and just check out the state of things. So, like, things like this open. I mean, there's a lot of things that are still riding in the clouds, and we're just checking the daily right now. So there's a lot of pain and a lot of downtrend still going on. Which there are plays in that one, and we'll check them out as well. But let's just check out the dailies right now. So, like NGD, a lot of these gold tickers, they are starting to come back on support. So if they don't start bouncing soon, they will start resetting a little bit. Let's see if we see anything over here. USO. I did go ahead and tweet out the other day that they are looking into buying back some barrels in around February, around February time, late January time. So that's going to be a play in itself. Again, those are the plays that where we want to look for order flow and see what's coming in. And none of that is going to be valid until about next week. So just hang off on the oil plays right now. You don't need to rush into anything like that. So like XOM over here. Like, you were right on support. So, yeah, if we break down a little further, you could go ahead and play out. But if we chop a little bit more, it'll just match up with everything else. If we chop into the new year, we'll most likely end up pumping back up to about 113. That is a good question. That shouldn't be the case. Why does it do that? Yeah, that's a... That's a good question. I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know if I need YouTube Premium, which I don't mind getting. 1080p YouTube Live. I think it might be me, actually, on that one. Well, thank you for letting me know. If you guys have any issues with audio or stream quality, just let me know. I did not know it was only streaming in 720, so I'll have to go ahead and fix that. I think it's my bitrate and stuff that I gotta fix. So, yeah, I appreciate that. Let me see if I can adjust that right now. Can I do it? Yeah, I think I can probably do it right now. Stream settings. Actually, maybe I can't do it right now, but yeah, that's good to know. That is really good to know. I did not know that. Dude, thank you, John. I appreciate it. All right, so EXO, let's just run down before we end up closing out. We close out in 4 minutes over here. A lot of people are talking about DAX, which I typically don't trade DAX or a couple of these weird ones. I stick to SPY, SPX, and ES, so I typically don't trade things like this. But I think someone asked me, and we had that 4-hour trigger over here and broke down. So just going to go ahead and continue on down. The next trigger for this one is going to be the daily. So if we get some kind of rejection at the 14,235 point, it'll just end up coming back down over here into the clouds. So the real trigger play is going to be into the clouds. Once we get that cloud entry, it'll be a short down to about 13.2. And let me just switch over to the weekly over here. Not that one. Let's check out the weekly of things. So this is kind of the main weekly thing with DAX is if we can't get back into the clouds, it's going to end up riding back down to about 13.3 anyway, which ends up being confluence with everything else. Weekly support cluster is right down about here. That'll be the middle B-bands point and the Kijun point. So we do have a little bit of support. We just don't want it riding down. If it rides down, it's going to be bad news bears, and it'll be a little bit before we run back through. All right, let me go NGD. Alternative, like EV vehicles not doing too hot right now. Banks have been coming down since XLF topped out. That was a play in its own, which I ended up getting across to a lot of people too. They ended up messaging me about this one. Basically, we got that weekly cloud rejection. And the main thing that I want to stress about this, you guys will see this a lot across the board, is you'll see a push through to the clouds. You do not want to play end-to-end plays where there is not enough cloud structure to go through. This would be considered an FTA zone, and something on the weekly like this, when we've had such an extension like this, it's almost rare that we get through a push through on this one. So you will almost never ever see a push through like this on a macro time frame when we've been running up like this into resistance like this. So you can typically short things like this and keep your invalidations tight. What kind of cloud entries we want to see is where we have decent cloud setups over here. So back has been pretty bad overall with that rejection, and we're still below support over here. It's trying very, very hard to get through, but I still don't think anything's going to happen until we can clear back over 34, 35. So more so right now, it seems like 26 is in the play, unless we can start clearing back over some structures. JD is approaching FTA, which ends up being an issue on its own, so could see a little bit of a pullback over here over this FTA. Once we clear the FTA, we should be fine with JD as long as we end up holding over 52.17. Cummins is not looking too good at all. This one, if we get into the clouds, is going to end up coming back down. Let's go to the weekly over here. So yeah, weekly had a nice little push through over here, so it makes sense we get a little bit of a pushback. On the weekly, we have support, whether you're looking at a price action or Kijun, right around an average point of that, and that'll pretty much be the cloud base over here. So if we end up breaking the cloud base, it should get pretty bad. SLB, again, cloud entry over here. If we start breaking down further and not recovering back over 51, 52, it'll just end up getting bearish over here. BTU is kind of flat. PEP is kind of flat. So PEPs. So if you notice over here on PEP, cloud base is over here. You have another cloud flat line over here. So you have two major points, which ends up being around the end of January and the first week of end of December and the first week of January. So those end up being very, very important points on the charts with Ichi. So you really, really have to keep that in mind. eBay breaking through that FTA that somebody asked me about last week. However, we're holding up on support. So the minute we lose this support, this should be pretty bad over here. Looking on the 4 hour, it did go ahead and extend out. So a little bit of consolidation is normal. So to get back bullish, we need to clear back over 42. Boeing over here. So, I mean, it's still fine on Boeing. Let's just check the weekly real quick. Yeah, so the weekly over here on Boeing makes sense. We broke out through this FTA over here, but we should go ahead and consolidate over here. It's going to be very difficult for us to go ahead and continue out to the 230 point without a little bit of consolidation. So, like, these are these rare circumstances where we end up pushing through an FTA like this, but this is more so sector related. Again, it's very unlikely we end up doing things like this. ENF, I don't trade this one, but Ripster trades this one, so you guys can always check out his feed. GE. Again, GE is one of the ones we want to look for order flow in and see what kind of order flow is coming in for the year, more so near the end of the month. So no opening orders today. Let me just check out the other orders. So yeah, there are some plays coming in, but again, like, it's nothing dated. We're looking for 2024, 2025, and we want to look for dated block players that are coming in. So we're looking for institutional players that are buying out leaps because this entire year has been pretty shitty for leaps. So, UKX. Not looking hot there. ExxonMobil, Bland. Just running down a couple things over here. So I did grab FXE puts. It's just basically a play on the euro and grabbing downside plays just because we have been extending up for quite some time. So just looking for a little bit of a pullback and grabbing some hedge plays for the downside. You know things are bad when Twinkie's coming down. Twinkie has been on an absolute run this entire time. So it's really interesting to see Twinkie come back down. So if we start losing cloud structures over here, we start losing this 21 area, Twinkie should go down and finally pull back much, much further. But again, I have people who trade Twinkie and other things. Let me just pull up that guy, Baba Yaga. Absolute champ. Really gets an understanding of the markets. So definitely something to go ahead and watch out. Somebody to watch out for. Hershey recession proof, just straight consolidating, just kind of just going bland right now. Not much going on with Hershey. So long as we can make it past, looks like it again. FTA over here, first week of January. So long as it can hold up over here around that 228, 227 point, should be fine to go ahead and continue to all-time highs. China over here with the EEM markets and just international stuff. Just kind of consolidating over FTAs. FTA ends around the end of the month. And once we're done with the FTA, we'll be good to go to continue on up. As long as we don't break down to below. So our below point would be somewhere right around here. So you don't want to break below that. But that is good that we're looking like that. UPS, again, trying to hold up on the clouds. Not the best sign for UPS. The weekly structure is still poor on... over here, but we do need to push through a little bit further for the UPS. Again, Dixie, I'm still surprised that Dixie isn't getting... yeah, we can check out Sting. Let's just do that one. This is one Stongtrup trades a lot. Structure is still very, very good. Do I not have this on my list? Yeah, I don't have this on my list, which is weird. Let me add this on. Yeah, this is holding up really, really nicely. Let's see if there's order flow for this one, if there's anybody buying. Yeah, see, like this is my kind of plays that are coming in. Premiums are a little expensive, so it's not necessarily something I would chase. I don't like buying expensive premiums for nothing. I can buy other things that are better protection. But if you're somebody that isn't, it doesn't mind paying $6 premiums for this, $60 strikes for this one is a very good play. It's based out for April 21st as well. It is an opening order practically because it's lower open interest, so you'll want to see what sticks tomorrow. But yeah, not bad. I see $60 hitting no problem, especially going in the money as well. So Sting is really good. You're just going to be paying for that protection. Let me just go down a little bit more. Cake was looking really, really bad. Tried to tweet out about this one yesterday. Weekly structure just isn't getting into the clouds right now. So Cake should end up much lower than this one. So right now you're looking at a target point about 26, 27. So we're at 30 right now. So it should go ahead and head back down. If we don't bounce over here, it'll be pretty much over. So 4-hour daily structure all looking pretty bad over here. Robinhood should just keep going down. I don't see why this should go up for any reason. So looking for more so like a $5 target on Robinhood. Crypto right now is looking pretty bad itself. Camping World, again, rejected over here. Refused to break out in the weekly. So you're looking at lower levels around the $8 range. And it's at 22 right now. Let's see what we're looking at over here as far as gaps go, if there are any. So no daily gaps to worry about just yet. But again, so you're looking at levels down over here at about the 15 area and then much lower. AMC not looking too hot over here. You're looking at support at around $2.10. But I don't typically trade this ticker because it's just a little too degen for me. I'd rather do other tickers. There's plenty more to pick from. Pot stocks have been just getting absolutely decimated from the last play. It has not had any kind of trigger since we got rejected up over here. So this will keep going down until the government says anything about it or says anything in positive light about any of that stuff. Plug is coming up on support. Should go ahead and break that support and go much lower. It's more so like that electric vehicle and EV play and the whole alternative energy play. Just not set up yet. And we're close with SPY. Let's just check out how SPY closed out. Damn, I'm really upset that these things are coming up on 720. We definitely need to fix that. I need to make sure these are 1080. Because I don't think you guys can see anything. So yeah, we pushed up a little bit at the end of the day just to punish out people who got in all late today on put plays, which makes sense. And we'll just check out ES for later on. So we'll come back to ES later on today. What else do we have? Let me just go through tech real quick and see if there's anything going on in tech land. It doesn't look like it with the charts. It looks like pretty shitty across the board. In Dogecoin land, if you're in Dogecoin, you can probably short the shit out of this one. There's no way it's going to be coming back up. Market conditions are very, very poor with Dogecoin. So this entire pump should fully reset. Typically, I don't aim for full resets, but Doge is an exception. This should go ahead and fully reset down over here on this previous pump, and it should go ahead and hit lower. I mean, tech stock is more so a weekly observation. Yeah, I know. Yeah, my bad about that one. I will definitely go ahead and fix that one for tomorrow, so I'll try to be a little more descriptive on my things. But if you guys are tagging along on the charts, you guys should be able to see everything. But yeah, I'll get that one fixed for next time around. So again, UAs and like weekly setups is kind of where I'm focused on because we are getting a lot of weekly cloud setups. So if we can stay up over just general price action support for weeklies, these things will all start setting up come the end of the month, come first week of January. So really, really curious about that one. What ends up happening over there? Like TTD over here heading down back to support around 39 and then should head down much lower than this if we don't hold up. U is not looking too good. Roku's not looking good. Comtel is trying, so a little bit more consolidation with Comtel, and then we can go ahead and get in. ENPH is the one that I said that I don't end up playing, but that ends up being Ripster. Ripster is super smart in his own, So Ripster's another, this isn't it. Oops. That's the wrong Ripster. Yeah, this one. No, wait. What happened to Ripster? Yeah, we can check it out. Let me just see what happened to Ripster. I wonder what happened here. Does anybody know what happened to Ripster's account? Maybe, I mean, he had much more followers than this one, so maybe this is him. I'll just give it a follow, but probably not, so I'll come back to that one. But yeah, he checks out that one a lot more than me, so I don't know too much about ENPH. Nevada, again, getting rejected over here at the clouds. It's trying to set up over here, but we won't get a setup for quite some time on Nevada. On the daily over here, we're trying to push through. We're setting up on the daily. It's just passing over through an FTA. So in a couple more days, this will get better clarity on this. Ripster had some Atlas. Yeah, I know he was an Atlas, but I don't think he was doing the same heartless shilling as Zach and all them. So that I can attest for. Yeah, he was an Atlas, but I don't remember him doing anything real degenerate and real crazy like that. Qualcomm breaking down. So that's one of the ones that I ended up grabbing this morning was just commons on Sox. Just more so betting on this one to go up a little bit further, get a little bit of relief over here. We have a gap full around this 46 and 51 range. Bearish on semiconductors. Glow over here breaking through this FTA should end up much lower than this. UUU, yeah, let's check it. Uranium, I think, I know, now I know who you are on Twitter, because you mentioned uranium. People speculated he might have actually given SEC the scoop. I mean, hey, he pushed out good content, so I wouldn't be surprised if he did that, because it made him look bad. He probably got sick of that shit. I mean, technically I'm bullish on uranium as a source. It's just the world isn't bullish on uranium yet. So if you look at the fundamentals of uranium, they are very, very bullish. There's a lot of people on Twitter that are pure fundamentals accounts on uranium, and they'll tell you, like, it just ends up being the future, unfortunately. Get like 20 mil, 20% of the settlement. Is that how that works? There's no donations, but I appreciate that, unless you're talking about those guys. Marvel over here again. Semiconductor stocks are not looking too good. You got supports down over here at lower levels. So you're looking at 33 and 28 for over here. And if you guys are confused about where I'm getting these plays from or what levels they are, just let me know and I can bring them up and I can show you guys. 4 hour over here on MasterCard looking pretty bad right now. If we don't start recovering back over this 349 range, you're looking at about 323 for a gap pull down over here. AMD breaking down. A lot of these plays that were supposed to be breaking up over our plays are starting to come back down, which is not good at all. So it's pretty bad that a lot of these tickers are looking like this one. So it's not going to be a good sign. So really want to observe the end of the week. You don't want to go too gung-ho on your positions. If you're doing any kind of sizing, you definitely want to lower your sizing compared to what you guys were doing before. So like the sizing that you were doing last month should definitely not be doing the sizing now. So any of the plays that I tweeted about this morning, the size are just starter position sizes. I just want to make some money for the end of the month, and then we'll play again. I'll just capture what I can. Just normal position sizing. I'm waiting for all that stuff for the end of the month so I can go ahead and start scaling into options and start setting money aside. SFM still looking good over here. If we can go ahead and manage to hold up over here this week, this should go ahead and extend back out. I'm still bullish on grocery stores and all this stuff. The only concern over here right now is the 4 hour if we start continuing back down further. But if we can manage to clear back over 34, we'll be on the track for the upside. Cisco not looking hot again. If we break below the clouds on this one, it'll be a short trigger all the way down to about 45, if not a little bit lower. EA Sports, it's definitely not in the game because this is looking pretty bad. So you're looking at about the diagonal support test around that 117, 116 area. Intel, again, refused to break out of the clouds over here. So there's a lot of poor setups over here, but they all have hope on the weekly. Just because of the fact that we've been having so much extension. So if the market's going to take a turn, it's going to take a turn at the end of the month when everybody still continues to be bearish. I just assume we punish people who end up being late on plays. So Dime was telling me he's bearish, so let me just pull up, well, I'll pull up Dime's chart in a minute, but he was basically showing me a couple of the Ichi things that he was seeing on his end, so that'll be really interesting to see what he was looking at. So there's a chat with him later today. Honda Motors over here. Again, weekly setups is kind of the focus over here, but we have a little bit of time over here for us to set up. Tesla right on support over here, so maybe we get a little bit of a bounce, but it'll only last about 177. Let's go to the daily. CMCA. So CMCA is just going over to the FTA, so this makes sense that this is pulling back. FTA ends at the end of the month, so as long as we don't start breaking too low, this should be fine to go ahead and recover on through. So that's kind of the main thing, is a lot of daily FTAs are coming through, which I've said before, they produce a little bit of downside volatility, and they just kind of wreck people when you're going through the FTA. So just something to keep in mind. ATVI. So I don't know. I forget which company it was that ended up the Bored Ape people ended up hiring the CEO of Blizzard. I don't know if that's a CEO that got in trouble last year for the nonsense that he was doing, but either way, that'll be really interesting to see how this works out, because I don't believe Blizzard's making the world's most money right now. So yeah, not the best sign right now for Blizzard. So if we can manage to clear back over on 78, that'll be interesting. Bored Apes, we'll see what they do and if they have any kind of connections on that one, but it's pretty tricky in NFT land. For people who we'll switch over to NFT land, but I was telling you guys about Trump cards before they blew up. I was like, yo, we're early to the Trump cards. The Trump supporters didn't even see anything yet. We were at like 200 ETH volume, and now we're at like 4K. So FTA, just, it's from my own experience. Every time I've played options, and for the last like couple years, whenever I do options and I end up holding them over to the FTA, the decay and theta just end up kicking up, and it just ends up being bad for my options, and that just ends up being weak points in the clouds. So it's pretty set and clear on as far as like what's going to happen on the FTA. So it's just a point to be cautious on. So it's not as important as like the other plays as far as like an end-to-end play or like a Kijin flip, but it's just something to focus on that ends up being really weak as far as like options go and just price action goes. So just more so my experience thing. What else do we have? Let me just check one last thing, and then we can check out crypto. So a lot of these international ETFs are still managing to hold up over here, which will be a play in itself. But again, something that more so you want to focus at the end of the month rather than now. So like the Poland one. I'm sorry, that's Chile, Poland, Belgium, Netherlands, Austria, EWK, and there's people who do this stuff. If you guys want to follow somebody that's a little more experienced in the markets, I said Tom, it's Market Compass. Yeah, he's really good. Not that many followers, but he does his little Substack, does a little review on everything. Again, people use Ichi, and they all use it in different ways. He uses the little flags and forks, so very, very useful as far as like what he does. So if you want like another different aspect of somebody else doing it that's been in the markets for much longer than me, I think he's been doing this for like 30-something years. So definitely a big, good follow over here on this one, and he pays attention to a lot of stuff and just ends up posting a lot of good info. So big shout out to Market Compass over there. Yeah, I would typically end up doing it. If it's overextended and I know I've been cashing out on calls, yeah, I would definitely do puts on that one. So there was a lot of FTAs this month that I probably should have done puts on, but I ended up not doing puts on things just because I'm better at giving advice on some of my plays than actually playing it, just because it's mentally harder to actually play through and follow through. That's why sometimes I wish I was just a robot. It would make things a lot simpler. But yeah, FTAs, you can typically do puts on that one, and you'll get a lot clarity on that if you're switched to the lower time frames as far as like if they're actually going to confirm. So like what? Here, you can come up. So like JJT over here passing over through an FTA. This is kind of just a tin play. I'm still very, very, very bullish on the fundamentals of tin, and just the fact that tin is just going to become more important later on. So this is just a tin bot price thing that they have. Tin is going to end up hitting $30,000. So it's just a matter of time before this ends up running through and going much, much higher. So we're looking at an upper target about 91. And essentially, once we start getting over that 30,000 point, that's when you'll start seeing like some of this direction volatility and just straight up pushes. So I do 100% believe that we're going to end up filling every single gap that we've made and hitting back into all-time highs for tin. And most likely next year. MJ ETF, like I was showing you before, this is all pretty much done over here. This broke right through the FTA and is looking pretty bad. Let me go to the 4-hour. Oops. Let's check out a few more. So there's two different type of FTAs. There's FTAs which are, so let me just get that across too. So there's FTAs which look like this, where you're getting a Kumo twist and you're getting a flat point over here. So you have an FTA that looks like this, and then you have an FTA that looks like this, which ends up being the weak point in the cloud. So those are your two FTA points that you want to focus on. You have an FTA which is a Kumo twist point, and you have an FTA which is the weak cloud point, which isn't necessarily a good end-to-end play. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. I mean, it was pretty much a morning play for stock markets, and that kind of worked out normally with everything that was expected. I typically don't play on Mondays, but this was one of those Mondays where you might as well just go ahead and play it, and it ended up working out today. MBIS not looking too hot, breaking down on support, GME. Let me just flip over to the order flow land and see what's going on order flow. That's what my main concern is, seeing who's buying what, where that low open interest is. So this is something that's really, really interesting. So with the whole buying back barrels and everything going back to bullish on energy, so this is on support right now for energy transfer. And you're seeing players coming in over here with this one. 117.25, $12 strike. So nothing overly crazy, still very decent over here. Nothing crazy with the open interest, and the volume doesn't supersede the OI. So that's very interesting to see all this ET play coming in. So that's the biggest data plays that are coming in right now would be ET. And so this is what I want to see come into the end of the month. So we can consolidate a little bit more and we start getting a reaction across USO and Brent. That's what I'm looking for right now. So I love to see this one. UNP, what is that? Railroads over here. Though, I mean, this is just more so my own topic I want to discuss. I saw that the government basically denied railroad workers 7 days of sick time leave or whatever. It's just crazy. Like, how are you gonna it's just insane how some of the stuff that the government does. Like, you could simply, you guys get all this unlimited time off and get paid all this money, but you guys can't give railroad workers 7 days sick time. Absolutely insane. They'd rather see that stuff get more worse than better. What else do we have? I'm trying to look for unusual names that I typically don't see. I want to stay away from plays with high open interest right now. I want to see what block players are building on. So, sweeps aren't that bad, but I'm more so curious about block players. What's Joby? Joby is Joby Aviation. Don't know. Delta Airlines. Let me just go over here to airlines and see how things on airlines are looking. American Airlines. And then we can do crypto. Hang on, just pulling something up. If anybody is interested, you guys kind of did miss the date on TrendSpider's cutoff for their 60% off, but it's not too late if you guys did want to go ahead and sign up. And I only say this because they just have simple things. Like, the one thing I can say is, like, the candle patterns is really important because you guys see the strat people that are on here. You guys can always hashtag this one. So if you guys are interested in learning something like this, the strat, I believe this is it. Yeah, these guys do their own little setup with inside days, so this is definitely 100% worth learning, especially if you're using an Inconfluence with my strategy, because this is more so candle and price action based. So those are the kind of things that you can set up over here. So if you like tweezers or whatever it is, you can set these up over here, and it just makes everything so simple for people. Engulfing candles. So this is more so just to get beginners really good idea of things. I mean, in general, I like using it just because it makes everything super simple, and I'm able to see analyst ratings and all that stuff. So all these are still coming down. Delta Airlines getting some play over here. See, like, notice how it's like drawing its little triangle. Like this triangle over here ended up breaking down. So they give you the chart patterns over here, so you can turn it off or turn it on, and you can just be very strict on how you play it. Sooner or later, I'll have my indicator set up over here on TrendSpider. The guys said they would help me set it up. I just have a little different of a strategy that I do, so it's going to be a little difficult to tell them what to do. But yeah, I mean, you can notice it over here. Like, some of these chart patterns end up playing out. I didn't end up shorting much of airlines at all, so there wasn't really much of a play on airlines for me. All right, let's do a little bit of crypto. Show you what. Let's just see what's going on over here. It's been pretty shitty on crypto, man. There has been no volatility. Just absolute. The one thing I do want to check out is, let's check out something. Medieval Empires. Let's see how much these fuckers are up. I mean, they're essentially dumping on people. This is the one that I tweeted about yesterday. And let me just pull this back up over here. Hold on. So MEE was just basically all these fuckers just over here just chilling and just... You know they're getting paid to do this, and none of them are putting out hashtag ad. None of them are putting out anything over here, and that's like what I was trying to get across to people. Like, they even got people like Da Vinci on here doing this stuff. So, hey, I'm shilling stuff, no fucks given. So Da Vinci Jeremy over here shilling the same shit, and it's the same stuff. All these people are getting paid to do this stuff, so that's why you want to be very, very careful. And again, it's that little rat, Moon Carl. So it's the Moon Carl shit that he ended up launching, and this is no different than Game of War. It's the same thing. Like, if you guys have played any kind of games and they tell you to like do things to earn extra money, this is pretty much it. It's the same thing. They've just copy and pasted stuff and adjusted things. So it is a scam. Maybe it works out for a little bit, but again, just for the first 48 is all you're gonna see. Let me go over here on spot. MEE. Yep. And accept and continue. Surprise! We pumped up and it's dumped down, and we're pretty much going flat over here. They're just waiting for more liquidity over here to just go ahead and dump on people. So yeah, these guys are 100% going to dump. This ticker is going to go ahead and dump out. The only plays that are typically on these plays that people end up buying is the first 48. You can play the first 48, but beyond that, you just increase your risk so much that you're just going to get dumped on. So maybe these pump up a little bit more, but these things are a scam, and they will end up dumping out on you. So it's already up 188% on launch. All those guys got in much lower over here around this point, so they're already cashing out on all their plays. I mean, you can look at over here. Look at this 51,000 sell over here. So somebody probably got paid 50K MEE tokens. So it just takes a little bit of research on here to figure out how they're selling it out and how the order history looks. Trade history. You can't see that unless I log in. But yeah, it's just insane, the scams that go around. MEXC is one that just ends up launching things right off the bat. So it's basically like the KuCoin of new exchanges. I don't have anything wrong with the exchange, but if you want to take advantage of scams and stuff, this is probably the place to do it on. But again, everything is a lot more high risk over here if you do it. Let me just open up OpenSea real quick and show you guys something over here. Do some NFTs real quick. I mean, I keep showing you guys Deep Black. I'm super bullish on Deep Black in general. I mean, this is more so something you want to buy and hold. So if you do have money for it, just pick something you like and what resides with you. There's been some guys that have been buying some things. Come on, cat. You got to go. Move. What are you doing? So it's just abstract art. I'm a fan of the abstract art, and I know this stuff is gonna end up popping off later on. There's not that much people on Twitter who follow it, and it's just starting to grow slowly and slowly. So I'm just surprised these guys ended up pumping up the way they did, and it's just something I'm more so bullish on just for the long term. As far as stats goes, so what's going on over here? Trump cards are back at 0.31, so it was just a quick flip over here on this one, so it makes sense it's coming down over here. Valhalla was the other one I showed to you guys. I had a couple people that said they made about 10 to 15 ETH on this one, just because they ended up buying the rares on like the weapons and all that stuff. So this has been a play on its own. Like, I've been making more money in NFTs than anything. So again, if anybody tells you that NFTs are dead, they're absolutely not dead. It's just you're not playing them right. So yeah, NFTs are still very, very much alive. Let me check out Little Commies and see how they're doing. And if you're playing anything like the derivative of things, so like there was apparently Biden cards going out, you're gonna get scammed. So do not put your money in derivatives of the main thing. Nobody else has actually announced anything else outside of Trump, and that's about it. And I heard that Trump had most of the supply as well, which is, hey, whatever. It looks kind of shady, but it's good that he had this supply. It helps it pump up. So hold the supply, pump it up, just give it to your friends. I don't care. We'll make money out of that one way or the other. Let me see how those guys. I don't see them on the list anymore. Cat, you're in my way. Kind of mad at my cat. She hissed at me last night while she was laying in bed. I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Yeah, little commies with a little bit of a pullback over here, so it makes sense. Free mint, so it was a big quick in and out. As far as like what the next play for NFTs is, again, I still think Deep Black is the main play for everything. But just grabbing rares and selling rares is a good way to go about things. But for right now, there's nothing really too exciting right now for NFTs. I'm sure something will pop up in the next 24 hours, but for right now, there isn't much of anything going on. Yeah, I've used the pseudo swap stuff. It just depends on how you're using it, because like the project needs to have proper liquidity to do it. So, pseudo swap is probably better on certain collections. So, as of right now, with the market conditions, I probably wouldn't be using pseudo swap. The best thing to probably use right now is probably more so like Blurs. Blur NFT has been just absolutely fantastic. You can avoid, well, it's not probably the best thing to do, but yeah, you can avoid royalties on this one, and it just ends up being cheaper on doing something like this one. So, Blur is probably what you should be using if you're using anything. And I'm not shilling this because anybody's paying me or anything. It's simply because they just make everything very, very simple, very, very easy. Just to give you like an example over here. Well, I can't pull up an example. I don't know if I have the right account linked. But yeah, they let you avoid royalties if you want. So the projects that have like 10% royalties, you can simply say fuck you and avoid it. Well, that's not good or bad. I see where the drama starts with royalties, but like just to give like an example, like I don't believe Parallel has adjusted their royalties at all. Parallel. Yeah, I don't think Parallel, I don't even know how to pull them up on here. Some they might not even be on here. But Parallel hasn't adjusted their royalties, and I believe they're still at a very high royalty at about 10%. So why I would sell on OpenSea is beyond me. Just because, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous like a platform like that is still pushing 10% royalties when they've made millions and millions on other things. So while I could still be a little bit bullish on it, if the people haven't adjusted their royalties with the market, well, fuck them. I'm gonna be on here and avoiding your royalties all day long. Xmon, the ticker itself, it's whatever. I mean, Xmon. It's still pretty overpriced in my opinion, especially for a bear market right now. So if the market does end up crashing over here, this is going to be one of the big ones that are going to be coming back down to about 9,000. So it comes back to the same thing like YFI. I'm having to work around my cat. This is very annoying, kitten. Kitten, what are you doing? So like YFI has been just a super, super simple short. This is going to end up coming back down to about 3,000. So yeah, crypto is not in a good state right now. Let me just go back over here. So 5 minute looks like this. BTC status. All right, there we go. Just want to check if we've had any kind of volatility at all whatsoever. I doubt it. Oh, come on. Didn't you guys post it? Where is it? Damn, they haven't tweeted it out. Well, normally they tweet this out. I don't know. They'll probably tweet this out in a little bit. Yeah, so this has been us this whole, since 12/17. This has been the volatility that we're getting. So I've told you guys before, if you guys are paying attention to this one, you can keep it very, very simple. If we're not at the end of a block over here, you can play the opposite of whatever happens over here. So, like, if you get a trigger over here and it ends up wicking out over here, short the shit out of it. If we're in the middle of a block and we end up dumping down over here to about 16, you can long it. These are quick scalp plays on how you're doing it, but it just gives you an idea of volatility and a couple other things. So, but that's just a little bit of it. I don't want to get too involved into this one. But yeah, something you can focus on, BTC status. They give you a lot of good information as well as far as like open interest goes and where everything's lying on. So definitely worth following this account. Let me show you the BTC levels and then we'll go ahead and wrap this up. So Bitcoin pretty much got rejected up over here at this point, and this is not going to be recovering anytime soon. Anybody telling you it's going to be recovering, it's not recovering. So I don't know who's spilling hopium on the feed. Apparently I hear Kaleo's spilling hopium on the feed. Kaleo's cool guy, but the hopium is definitely not going to work. So if he's spilling any hopium, you can easily ignore him on that one. So cool. If you're listening to this, Kaleo, no problems with you, man. Just stop the hopium, man. Just stop smoking that pipe. It's not happening. So right now what we're looking for is short fills around that 17 area. So you can layer your shorts out the middle B bands, Kijin, and up over here at the cloud base. So unless we can clear the cloud base, this isn't going anywhere. So it's a short pretty much right now in crypto. Any kind of green we get on crypto that's outside of this range, I want to go ahead and short. So crypto is pretty much short. Anything that's overvalued on crypto is going to be coming down. As far as like longer targets go with things, so BTC USD, let me just pull this up. What I'm looking for right now is something like this. So notice how we wicked out over here, wicked out over here. I said before, a little bit of consolidation, and then we're looking for a dump point around these 2 points. So people are most likely going to start calling out weekly bullish dibs around the 14K, 13K point. But again, the trigger for a long right now is a wick. Unless we get some kind of wick action, you do not want to play something crazy long or crazy short. See how we got a wick over here? That was an easy short because we had a wick over here. But until we get some sort of wicks on the downside, there's no need to long. There doesn't show any kind of interest in range. So wait for a wick to happen, and then you can go gung-ho long. For the people who are at a screen all the time, 24/7, that's your bread and butter over here. You will see the wick happen. You will see the aggressive volatility to the downside, and that's where you're going to make your money on. So just wait for something. And I'm sure I'll be able to tweet it because I'm at the screen all the time. But yeah, I'll let you guys answer questions. If you guys have any questions at all, let me know, and I can answer them. I'm going to actually go back on stream in about an hour or two just to go on Twitch. But yeah, I have a Twitch stream coming up with Shattered Eons. I'm going to do it on Thursday, so we'll discuss them. That's another project. Again, nobody's paying me for absolutely anything. I'm just shilling it because I think it's interesting. But yeah, these guys are actually working on their thing and not copying anything, but this is essentially going to be like a Clash of Clans type game. But they have their own little twist to everything. So I'm looking forward to this one a lot because eventually people will start picking up on this. And it's just growing your community is pretty difficult in these kind of markets right now. But again, this is something that's cheap. The entry price is very, very cheap for a lot of people. Let me see if I can pull it up. Shattered. They're going to be doing the airdrop. Oops, that's the wrong thing. They're going to be doing an airdrop soon for Gen 0 Colonist. So it's just something you want to focus on. Their mint price was 0.06. So mint price is, it's kind of catching up right now. It's slowly starting to grind up over here. So it is a little bit of a struggle catching up on things. But again, these are the kind of things that are going to start blowing up. The teams that are still putting out the effort. And I think there's a couple other people that are putting out a good amount of effort on things. So Again, I don't think NFTs are dead whatsoever. Anybody telling you that just doesn't know what to look for and where to look at. Here are some of the pirates. Again, these are the things that you want to go ahead and scoop up because they are cheap, because they're important, and they're going to be a good factor in the game later on. So, yeah, keep looking for those games. The one last game that I'm looking for, and I still haven't really bugged these people at all. I probably should bug them and see if they can give me beta access to this. Is these guys. These guys just have been building a really cool game, and they've just been grinding on games. So it's going to be a couple more months until a lot of these games are out and they're doing good. But, yeah, definitely keep focusing on things. Just don't... The PFP vibe is just horrible. Playing PFP tickers is just... Or PFP NFTs is just horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. It's not a good thing to do. It doesn't lead you anywhere. If you guys know who Damien Hirst is, I'm sure there still plays on Damien Hirst stuff as well. Damien Hirst is probably a good example of everything. So if you do have rare art or you do have rare things, Damien Hirst gave you an option. You want my NFT or do you want my physical painting? So you could have burnt this and got a physical painting from him and hung it up in your house. If not, you hold a digital painting. Either way, like, that's a good thing to do. And that's why it comes back to Deep Black over here. Like, these are just abstract paintings. I wonder if I can pull up what somebody recently bought in there. Let's see. Yeah, somebody bought something, and I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool what they bought. Yeah, they bought things like this one, and it just is, it's abstract painting. I was like, yeah, it looks like a king on a throne for me. And then somebody else told me what it looks like. Let's see, what was it? Michelangelo's Pieta. It really does look like it. Well, I mean, obviously a little bit adjusted because it's AI-wise, but yeah, pretty crazy. Again, depends on how you look at things, but abstract is kind of my thing. I like abstract. Even before NFTs, whenever I thought of something, it was always abstract was my idea of art. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get off. If you guys don't have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and start working on another article and getting something out for you guys. So if you guys have any recommendations for articles or anything you guys want me to write out about, let me know, and I'll go ahead and write that out. So I appreciate everybody hopping on, and I should go on Twitch again later just to get everybody on. So if you're still on Twitch, just look out for an alert. If you're not subbed to my YouTube, just hit the sub button. It's